Our next speaker is Paul Faraggi, and Paul is with Capgemini, who have been long-time partners of the Digital Disruption Research Group. Paul is lead and co-founder of what is called Social Innovators, which is the social impact and sustainability practice within Capgemini. And he leads an initiative to rethink success within Capgemini, but also with their clients. And he helps clients develop these capabilities. He's got a lot of experience in the design and setup of digital transformation and incubating initiatives. And he is also passionate about the issue of climate change. And so if he walks out spontaneously, he will be on strike. It's all yours. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Kai. I'm really happy and excited to be here today to discuss with you one of the topics that I'm really passionate about, rethinking success, of course, through purpose. So let me share with you a bit of my own experience. As Kai said, I discovered during my studies that I was passionate by the topic of climate change. And then I joined a company, and it is a successful company. But I didn't feel fulfilled, professionally fulfilled in my day-to-day job. I wanted my job, my activity, to have a positive impact on society. And that's why, together with a few colleagues, I created the Social Innovators, social impact and sustainability practice at Capgemini. The goal of Social Innovators is to help our clients rethink success. So let me start with a question to you. From a traditional perspective, what is success? What shows success? One word. Sorry? Yeah, money. Money. Yeah, money. Money at different stages for different kinds of players. For individuals first, it's about status, it's about income, it's about material position. For companies, success is revenues, it's profit. Andrew told us that, it's shareholder value. And for countries, it's about GDP and ever-increasing GDP, economic growth. So at all the stages, it's about money. But I truly believe that a society only funded on money, only funded on profit, is neither sustainable nor desirable. Let's look at sustainable first. There is a quote that I really like from Kenneth Boulding, an American economist. Anyone who believes that exponential growth can go on forever in a finite world is either a madman or an economist. He's an economist, so he's allowed to say this kind of things. But so why is that? That's because traditional economy considers that production or GDP, that's pretty much the same thing, is a function of two things, capital and labor. And I mean, that's the economy that we've learned at school. That's the economy that is taught at school. But there is a big issue with that perspective. There is something fundamental that is missing. So let me take one situation, one example for that. Let's say that you're taking your car and going to the service station to fill in your tank. You're buying a few liters of petrol, of oil. What are you paying for when you are paying for this oil? You are paying for everything, anything, but actually the oil itself. You are paying for all the human activities that have extracted, transformed, and brought that oil to you. But the oil itself, the thing that the Earth has put millions of years to create, that comes for free. And that's the very definition of GDP. GDP is the sum of all the human activities on all the products that you can have in an economy. But whatever the Earth has given us, that comes for free. And that is based on a fundamental assumption of economies that dates back from the early 19th century, that natural resources are for free, because they were deemed at that time as inexhaustible. And to be fair, at that time, that was probably a reasonable assumption. The limiting factors were much more the capital and the labor. But this has changed. And if you take a more physicist point of view to the production system, well, you actually need two things in order to produce your end products. It's about resources, so natural resources, and then a form of labor done by humans, done by machines, in order to transform them and bring them to you. And in that conception, capital is just an internal loop into the system. That's a specific kind of product that is going to be here to improve your production system. But so if we take that perspective, we see that in a world where the resources are finite, and they are, you cannot expect to have an ever-increasing growth. And that's, for the economical world, that sounds a bit like a catastrophe, because it's all that we've been aiming for at least 60 years. It's the quest of perpetual growth, okay? That's what you read in the news. That's what the countries are looking for. That's what the companies are looking for. So saying that, well, it's flawed, no point in doing that. That's not going to happen, okay? That's not possible. That sounds a bit like a disaster. But is it, though? Is it such a big deal? I don't think so. I think that we have the wrong program, okay? They're looking for growth and economic growth. It is a mean, but it can't be the end. Money only buys happiness up to a certain point. There is this study done by two Nobel Prizes that show that above a given income for a household, actually, your happiness, your emotional well-being, doesn't really increase. It stagnates. So it's not about increasing the economical profits, increasing the economic income forever, okay? It's about possibly generating happiness. That's a bit of the hippie part here. That can be the end. So it's neither sustainable, this quest of forever growth, nor desirable here. So now, let's take our corporate glasses. Let's talk a bit about companies and organizations. But let's not take the wrong glasses. Because the traditional ones, the ones that focus on profit, they lead to corporate myopia, to focusing on the short term, the trimester, the quarterly results, and missing out the long-term opportunities or risks. And if we take those glasses, we may end up in a situation like this one. So let's take the right glasses. Let's put the right glasses on. What do we need? Profit, okay, yeah, sure. Some of it, but not only. People, and making people happy, emotionally well. And planet, taking care of our planet and its resources. And that's not something new, right? This is called the triple bottom line. And it's something that's been around for 25 years this year. We are celebrating the 25th birthday of the triple bottom line. But the way it has been used by companies up to now has not been really as something that is part of their vision or their core values or how they drive their business. It has been more used as a sort of reporting tool. Yes, we are doing things on these aspects. And so it takes time for our organizations to integrate this three dimension, people, planet, profit, in everything they do. First, maturity stage, a siloed approach where you have, in many companies today, a CSR department, a team focusing on sustainability in particular. And if we grow a bit, second stage, people and planet are integrated into the business, embedded into the objectives of the leaders, of everyone actually in the company. but in that stage, it still appears a bit as an afterthought, okay? It is in the objectives, but the core focus is on the profit. And third stage, it's about considering them together and considering a balanced way to achieve success on each of these three dimensions. So this third category is the one of the game changers, the profit for purpose company, the B Corps today. And there are more and more of them around the world. I wanted to take the example of Patagonia. Patagonia is a retail brand selling adventure clothes. And there are a few clues that show that Patagonia is a game changer. First, from an organizational point of view, they went from the situation that was completely on the left here to the right. So they decided to actually get rid of their CSR department, and they said that's part of everyone's job. Then they are driven by a strong vision. Their CEO, for him, it's all about saving the planet. And he's also a businessman, so he makes money out of it. But he had this vision. And this vision is actually action and translated into action. You mentioned that it was not so easy yet to translate that and action that. So what they are doing, a few things. One of them is last year, they have been given back $10 million of tax back, thanks to Trump's new laws for corporate America. And they have taken that money and given that to environmental causes. And the third clue here is that they try to avoid for their consumers overconsumption. So here is an example of an ad that they have put in the New Yorker in 2012 on the Black Friday, on the symbolic day of the overconsumption, which was saying, don't buy this jacket. And being a game changer drives a lot of benefits for the companies that do it. From a customer perspective first, 80% of millennials are willing to pay more for products that have social responsibility claims. From an employee perspective, purpose-driven employees are 30% more likely to be high performers. And even from a profit perspective, companies that practice conscious capitalism, they outperform the S&P 500 by 10 times over the long term, over a 15-year study. But probably not so easy to become a game changer, right? Because you have to combine three skill sets and three mindsets. The first one is the one of the mind, the strategic thinking, probably the profit-oriented thinking that's needed a bit. The second one is the heart, the dimension about purpose, about social sustainable impact. The third one is about the gut, and that how can you innovate, how can you disrupt the world, the industry in which you are evolving. Easier said than done, yeah. So rather than telling you about a conceptual framework on how to do that, let me share with you a bit of how we've done it modestly at Capgemini. Our intrapreneurship adventure. So with two colleagues, we have created 1 year ago, it was just a bit before DISRUPT.SYDNEY last year, this practice, the social innovators. Social impact sustainability, with the aim of helping our clients integrate this heart dimension, this gut dimension, into their activities. And it was a very way, to actually put social impact and sustainability, purpose, meaning, into our own day-to-day job as well. Of course, the path is not completely straight. We are facing a few hurdles along the way. A few examples are here. First one is about the culture, transforming the culture of an organization. We are a for-profit business. Second, around the time and focus of people. I have a day job. I don't have time to integrate new things. people, planet into what I do. Third one, middle management in particular. I have KPIs I have to deliver. So a few ideas about how we have tried to overcome these challenges. The culture one, I think it was based mainly on two things. First, we had, right from the start, a very strong support from our leadership, from our CEO and from our executives, in relaying the message, in showing that this was something that was really important for the company, so that it can be heard. And the second thing was more of a bottom-up approach, because there was all this passion driven by many young people in the company, the millennials, that wanted to feel that they had this impact. Time and focus. I have a day job. Yes, you have a day job, but actually, probably already in what you're doing, there is already a lot of social impact, a lot of sustainability. So the first thing is about identifying that, acknowledging that, recognizing it, making it visible. And then it's about thinking in your next projects, well, how can you design it upfront so that it integrates these new dimensions? Middle management, that's probably something that we are currently still building. And to do that, what we want to do is to change the performance management system of the company, to integrate these people and planet dimension together with the profits into everyone's KPIs. So we've had different hats in these last minutes, a bit of an economist, a bit of a physicist, a bit of a hippie, a bit of an intrapreneur. But if you have to take only one thing with you, it's we believe that every one of you is an architect of positive futures. And you have different ways to do it. The first step is probably to keep broadening your vision of success. What are your values? What are your dreams? What are your objectives? The second one, embed positive impact activities in your day-to-day job. Start acting on you. And to help you do that, there is at least one workshop this afternoon that can give you a few inputs for that. And third step, actually act on the people around you and act on your organization, your company. Become a social impact entrepreneur and bring everyone with you on the journey. Thank you.